Hi, I'm Lindsay Horvath, Supervisor for Los Angeles County's 3rd District, joined by our Los Angeles County Sheriff, Robert Luna, and we're going to talk about crime prevention strategies and the Sheriff's Department's role in coordination with regional law enforcement partners, including with regard to home burglaries. I know that that has been a particular interest in my district. Home invasions, property crimes have been a particular concern. Some of them, more high profile, have been reported. I know there was a couple in Encino that got people, really on high alert. And that happened in LAPD's jurisdiction, not yours. But how do you work with LAPD and how do you work with other law enforcement agencies in situations like that?
Thank you for having me on, by the way. And it's a pleasure to be here with you. You're a great partner, a supporter of public safety, and you're always asking these questions for our residents, so thank you for doing that. So yes, we've seen burglaries that have occurred really in all of our jurisdictions, but specifically the city of Los Angeles and Encino, both residential and businesses. And for us at the LA County Sheriff's Department, we are paying very much attention because crime is very transitory. People jump on freeways, and honestly, whether it's city or county, it doesn't matter. But we assist them in any possible way that we can. We take the information, we share information to see if we have any crimes that have occurred that have a pattern or a theme to them. And we are very successful working with our partners, not only at LAPD, but all the surrounding agencies as well.
That's great to hear. I know people get really frustrated when they say, well, that's not what the city does, that's what the county does, or, sort of those lines of government frustrate people when it's just they want help. So I'm glad to hear you all are working together to keep people safe. What are some of the other ways you're coordinating? I know there's a retail theft task force that you've created, some other efforts. How are you working regionally across jurisdictions to keep people safe?
So the frustration from our community members, business owners about retail theft and like crimes has been very apparent to us. So we wanted to make sure that we were working not only with LAPD, but the California Highway Patrol. So we are consistently sharing information. If somebody feels that there's a trend that's happening anywhere in our areas, we will be sharing information. And honestly, there's no excuse for us not to be doing that. So for anybody out there who's thinking about committing these crimes, know that whether you're wearing this tan and green uniform and LAPD uniform, CHP, we're coming after you. And we're very effective in this day and age using technology and all of our equipment to make sure that we're successful.
Well, I know that crime prevention has been top of mind for people, especially recently, and I know as we're in the holiday season and going forward, what are some of the crime prevention tips that you would encourage people to take a look at and start adopting as best practices for themselves?
Yeah, and the first thing in the way I address this is to tell people that when I look at crime statistics, I want to say that specifically in the 3rd District, crime is down by double digits. So we're all doing very well. When I say all of us, it's not just law enforcement, it's you and your office and our residents. But when you talk about crime statistics, you always got to be careful, because if you're the victim of a crime, it's your property and it matters to us. So from a crime prevention perspective, I want to make sure that people are extra vigilant. As human beings, we're actually very trusting. So for example, if somebody knocks on your door and they may be wearing an Amazon vest, or maybe it's a food delivery service, but you didn't order any food and you're not expecting any boxes, make sure you triple check. Ask for IDs, try to avoid that direct contact, because you don't know if somebody's out there trying to take advantage of you. When you're out shopping, for example, make sure you're not trying to show off all the things you're buying. You got to be careful when you're wearing jewelry, because there may be somebody who's watching, so you've really got to be careful. And this is kind of a new one for us. In today's day and age, people love to put their business on social media. People like to talk about that they're going on vacation, or they're doing this and they're doing that. There are people out there with bad intentions who pay attention as well. So be cautious about what you post. Be cautious what you post about your friends and family, because we don't want anybody knowing that, for example, no one's going to be home for tonight or for a week. And always, if you have any questions about suspicious people or somebody in the neighborhood that doesn't belong is raising the hair on your neck, call us right away. Let us go out and try and figure out what's going on. And there's nothing better than a nosy neighbor. If your neighbors are paying attention to what cars are coming and going, what people are coming and going, that's what somebody who's up to bad intentions doesn't want. Somebody who pays attention and calls the police on them.
Well, I don't know that everybody loves that nosy neighbor, but I do know that, to your point, people, more eyes and ears out there looking and watching our communities can be helpful. You mentioned something that I hear a lot. We talk about crime being down, and I appreciate you acknowledging that reality in our third district. And yet, when we give people that data, it's cold comfort when they see these stories on the news, or as you said, if they are the victim of crime. Yet we want to make data-informed decisions when we're thinking about policies that govern us. So what do you make of the data, and how should we be using that? How can we communicate it to people so they hear it in a way that lets them know we are working to keep them safe?
My number one thing is to stay informed. Be engaged in your local community, meaning that our station captains will put on meetings and they'll talk about the data, what's happening where, or other safety tips. You have to pay attention to what's going on. Don't get caught up in people putting out videos. You don't ignore them, but you got to be careful because crime is down. And although I said it earlier, when a crime occurs, it personally impacts people, but we also don't want to overreact to it. But we want to be vigilant, we want to be cognizant of what's going on around us, but you do and should participate as much as you can with your local station captain to make sure you're keeping updated on everything that's going on, good, bad, or indifferent. And it may not be just about crime, it could be traffic, maybe an increase in traffic collisions. We want to make sure that we're paying attention to things like that.
Well, that's one of the reasons I wanted to have this conversation with you. I know we're thinking about it constantly. How can we improve our service and let people know that we're working to keep them safe, we're innovating, and we're really listening to them? Is there anything else you want to share that people should know in terms of what the Sheriff's Department is doing and thinking about for our community safety?
Basically, we're here for you. If there's something you need, something that is making you feel uncomfortable or unsafe, please communicate with us so we can work on it together. We can either share the data with you, go out and check something out, even if it's a rumor, something that you're seeing on video or social media, make us part of it, because together we can make our neighborhood safe. And at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. That's what we need to work together on. We want to live in a neighborhood where our families can thrive, walk to parks and schools, and be safe. And we can do this together. It's a partnership.
Well, I appreciate you joining me today and sharing a little bit more information with some of our shared constituents and how we're working together. I just want to thank you for all that the department does to keep our community safe. And thank you to everyone who's watching this. We want to make sure that you are getting meaningful crime-stopping resources, and we'll be continuing to be in conversation with you.